I'm sitting in my office one day and I get a phone call from the local high school about one of the students there was in some legal trouble for sexting, for sending some inappropriate images over his cell phone. I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, man, what are we doing here? Why are we operating so far below our potential? And I got to thinking about it. This thing, cyber sex, that the technology exists at present and in the future to share images of one another. Toward what end? And I got to thinking about this. I understand doing goofy things and being young and everything, but there's something deeper going on here that I think we need to take a look at. Cyber sex, using technology and imagery over a cell phone or iPad or something. Think about this now. It is void of any personal connection, any heart, any tenderness, all the things you ladies are looking for. It's not there. It's void of any romance. It's not the act of a chivalrous man or a prince. There's nothing noble about it. It's fairly base. You know, even human sex trafficking, it's sort of a big social injustice thing in the world today, where people are raising great amounts of money to free, girls from all over the world that are being abducted and brought and sent through centers and hubs in the United States and whatnot. It is so base, it is so primary, and it is so low level that at first glance we kind of chuckle. We think it's interesting and kind of exciting, but in reality, it reveals a very deep hurt to settle for something so low and to peddle yourself like that. I'm not really looking for some sort of guilt reaction. I'm trying to reveal what is really there. When we begin to share images of one another for sport, we've just negated anything special that can happen. We've just gone to a primary, basic immaturity. I think there's a deep hurt in culture. And I think, we make mistakes, right? And there's always redos. You can always redo with God. But what causes us? What's the root cause or the symptom of a culture that shares those kind of images with one another as though it's nothing? It probably is rooted in some sort of fatherlessness or some sort of lack of a father image. Something happened along the way with the introduction of pornography, as we talked about in other videos at an early age, that sort of conditioned us to think that somehow this is kind of like acceptable. And as I said in the intro to this section, we're stepping back to look objectively at something. Does this not strike you as odd that that kind of behavior becomes acceptable among young people? Did you do that when you were in 8th, 9th, 10th grade? Do you see the damage that can do to a young woman? The reputation, the labels, the stereotypes, and the stigma that's placed upon someone? Eventually, we begin to live it out. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I believe heavily in confrontation in love. I believe that we can confront one another in love because we do love one another. I actually think that the absence of confrontation is the absence of evidence of love. So I confront you today. I confront you in love today to take a look at your sexual behavior. Are you bound to someone else? Are there no boundaries that exist? Do different boundaries need to exist? Are you willing to subject yourself to public humiliation? I confront you. Are you thinking less of yourself than you should? Are you not worthy of something higher and more noble? Of course you are. Your value that's placed on you is placed on you by God. Let's listen to him for a minute. He valued you so much that he shed the blood of his son on your behalf. That's value. But we're operating in a very base, primary, lust-filled way that says that we're not valuable. We're not worth it. I want to confront you to challenge that. Cybersex is the most obvious form of a low self-esteem I've ever seen. Let's consider these things and make a change.